Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to my stream and another chapter. Another chapter is working on this guy. That's our B-2A Spirit by Model Collect, 1/72nd scale model. We'll wait for the plane to take off and we'll run the intro, okay? Okay, so we're back, and we're going to continue with this build. It's been a few days since, since I've put a video out on this guy. I've been doing a lot of stuff in the background. In particular, I've been doing a lot of decals. Decals were the main thing. Let me grab this bird and show you here. She's got a whole bunch of decals on her now. And she's got a clear coat on her. She's got a gloss clear over the decals. So you guys saw last time, we painted the whole thing this color, and then I put all the decals on. Okay, I did a very light sanding on it just to get rid of any kind of a rough texture on it from the paint. Then I put the decals down. Okay, and now I've got the gloss clear. You can kind of see a little bit if I shine it in the right spot. You can see a little bit of my sanding marks from underneath. I'm not happy with it, but at the same time, it kind of makes this plane look like it's not brand new, which they're not. You know, these things were actually around in like the 90s, I think, when they first came out. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna look a little bit weathered, a little bit like it's got a little bit of streaking, I guess you could say, going on, because you can see the marks. As you can tell, I have this masked off. I need to paint the engines, which is the next thing I'm doing. Okay, the engines need to get their gunmetal color, and so I've got my air compressor fired up. I've got this masked off. It's only going to take a minute just to spray some gunmetal in there and get some color on our engines. And so I didn't bother setting up my other cam. So I'm going to be using Tamiya's X10 gunmetal. Okay, I have this one thinned out, and okay, you know what? I just realized my buddy had mentioned, had asked me, what have I got down here under my desk that I keep doing with my paints? I'll show you. I know I showed you guys this a long time ago. It's this guy. This is a little mixer, okay? And that's all this is. So I just take that and I go like this, and it does that. It's got a little thing in there that spins around. I believe this is for some kind of laboratory thing, something to do with mixing chemicals of some sort or something like that. Anyway, this is what I've got down here. Okay, got this on Amazon a long time ago. As you can tell, it's got some dust on it. It sits here. It sits and it waits for me to use it, and that's all it does. It's very patient. It's very patient, and it waits for me all the time. Anyway, so that's what I've got. So anyway, this is already thinned, so I don't have to add any thinner to it. This is ready to be sprayed. So we're gonna grab a paper towel. I'm gonna grab my little stirring thing. I'm not going to use my big 0.5 trigger airbrush. I'm not going to use this guy. Don't need it. Don't need such a big one, so I'll use my smaller one. I believe that this is a PS266 Krios airbrush. This is the one I do most of my stuff with. I think this one has a 0.5 needle in it also, but it obviously has a totally different tip on it, and so it doesn't do that super wide spray pattern. Okay, let's get a little gunmetal in our cup. Don't need much. It's not much to paint on those engines. Wipe this off clean so that the lid goes back nice. Okay. Let's just do a little test spray here. Yep, looks good. Alright, so I do want to make sure I get inside, and what I don't want to do, I don't want to put a whole bunch of fingerprints on my plane. So I'm going to wear a glove just because. Just because. Not that I'm worried I'm going to spray my hand, I just don't want to get fingerprints all over this nice thing. I'm going to see if I can spray this kind of on camera here. And that's it. Okay, we've got gunmetal on our engines, and that's all it needs to do. That's all I needs to do. That's all I needs to do. Who talks like that? Needs. All I needs to do. Sounds like Yosemite Sam or something. So, yeah, that's it. So now that that is done, I'm going to spend 5 minutes or so cleaning the airbrush. Okay, so our airbrush is clean, so we're gonna, it's been a few minutes, so we can take a look at our results here. Nice and dry, of course. A little tiny bit tacky, not a big deal. We can get rid of our masking tape. Now the one thing I'm hoping is I don't lift off any of my decals with this masking tape. I might, and I hope I don't, but I might. You never know, right? But that's why I do the clear coat over top of the decals, because that, in theory, seals them all in, and then it won't lift off. Lift off, we have lift off. No, we don't. Don't say that. No, all the decals stayed in place because they're underneath the clear coat. And so they did their job. The clear coat did its job. Yay. There we go. We've got our engines. Okay. But you look at any kind of pictures online of this thing, the engines don't really stand out like that on this plane. They're not like that. It's a lot more of a kind of a dark, not rusty, but definitely a darker color. Now I got a little bit of, I guess, dust kind of in there. So what I want to do is I want to get this kind of streaked just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper. I've got a little thing here for my 2000 grit sanding sponge, and I'm just going to very lightly go in here and kind of, not only am I getting rid of the little bit of whatever that was that just fell onto the paint while I was spraying. Okay, kind of go in that direction a little bit. Give that a little bit of a thing so we get a little bit of streaking and it looks authentic through there. What did I mention about getting fingerprints on the thing? And here I am, I took my gloves off. That's okay. Alright, so now we got a little bit of not perfect looking engine. It's hard to see, and of course I don't have that. I don't have this camera set up right now. But you know what? Give me a second and I'll get that camera set up.
Moments later.
Okay, so camera's set up. Let me change the camera and let's do this. Alright, so here we are. You also get a better look at all the decals and the gloss clear that's on this right now, and you can see the texture and the line from the sanding that I did just a little too much. You can see it through the gloss clear. Now I'm hoping that when I do the flat clear, that's all going to go away. But here's our engines. We got our engines. I don't know why I've got a great big plus sign in the middle of my screen right now, but I do. I guess that's the focus point on the camera. Anyway, so there's that. We've got our engines there. Engine number 1, number 2. That's how they look now. So yeah, you want to look underneath? We got our decals underneath there. And they got the similar thing under there, right? They got all the sanding that I did on all the panels and everything. That's coming through the gloss clear. But once we get the flat clear on there, in theory, it'll look better. Okay. But I want to do a little bit of a wash on our engines here and make them look just a little bit more, I guess you could say grimy. Yeah, considering what I'm going to use is, this plane does not want to sit on my desk, so it's going to sit on my lap. Okay, we're going to use AK Interactive Engine Grime. That's what we're using. Okay, so I'm going to shake this up. These things got a lot of pigment in them. I'm going to put our bird down back behind me here. Okay, and I'm going to change camera again. I'm going to mix this up. Let's get my airbrush back in its spot here. We're going to mix up the paint with my mixer that you guys already know about, right? Because I told you. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yes. This is kind of a brownish color, and that's okay. Brown is okay. I'm going to take the brush that I just used. Why not? And I'm going to put a glove on because I'm going to be holding on to the model again. Yoink. Okay, I'll switch the camera again so you can see. I'm going to take some engine grime and we're going to go doink, 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 doink. And doink, 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 doink. Yep, that's what I just did. I just did that. How about that? Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a second. You might be thinking I'm a little crazy, and that's okay to think that. I'm gonna put our lid back on there. I'm gonna clean my brush while that dries a little bit. And I'm going to use a Q-tip. I'm going to use a Q-tip, even though it's pretty much drying. It's drying pretty good. I'm just going to smear a little bit. Okay. Now the Q-tip's going to soak up a little bit of the paint, but that's okay. We're going to use some white spirits to clean this up more. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now it really looks terrible, doesn't it? It does. You think, oh, you just ruined it. Well, no, not really. We're going to use some odorless thinner. This is also known as white spirit. We're gonna dip our Q-tip in it, and this is gonna reactivate that paint. Okay, and by reactivating it, we can smear it around and blend it in and get our smears, and we can kind of clean it up and make it a lot more uniform. In fact, getting all the way down into that area there, okay, and cleaning off the Q-tip a little bit on my paper towel. Turn this around so that I can get in here. If you feel that you've put too much on, you can really cut it back. You just put a whole bunch of white spirit on it. I'm even going to go on this top area because I don't want it being so bright. And there we go. So that's cleaned it up quite a bit. So like I said, you guys thought that I totally ruined it, but actually I didn't. So, fooled you guys. Make sure I get in here, spread it around. Even get up here just to put a little color on that. It's all just, we're kind of just blending it in. That's what this is all about here. Having a bit of streaks, that's okay. That adds to the personality. So there we go. You can actually see a little bit of the blue coming through here, but that's okay. But there's our engines. That's really all I need to do with the engine. I think that's looking pretty good there. And I think that's ready for, we're ready for flat clear now. And then to say the painting excursion of our aircraft is finished. I think that's about it, yeah. So, let me get this covered up again. Anybody want a 1/48 scale version of a GBU-57 bomb? This thing is in my way constantly. I printed it off, literally. This is just 3D printed, and I did it just because I wanted to see how big the bomb would be in 1/48 scale. Because here's the 1/72 scale version right here. And unfortunately we've got a little bit of a bent on our fin. Yeah, there's the 1/72 scale that we're actually going to be using. But yeah, it's just a huge bomb. Like, look at a 1/48 scale P-51 Mustang, and that's almost the size of the whole plane. Anyway, yeah, that's that. So let's keep that in a safe spot. We need a safe space for such a delicate little bomb. Anyway, this is really just garbage. I did it just because I was curious. So that is that for that. That is that for that, yes. This is a short video, I know. The only thing left now is to spray some flat clear on our plane and do that. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to use some rattle can stuff. Tamiya TS80. I'm going to use this. We're going to spray some flat clear. I'll give that another 10-15 minutes or so to dry. But then I'll spray some flat clear and we'll come back with next time will be, I guess it'll be final assembly, putting the bomb in. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. We'll come back later with the next one and finish her up, alright? So, if down in the description box there, I've noticed that there's some links to my other channels, and you might want to check those out too. Things like my Twitch channel and my Instagram and my X, stuff like that. Discord too. Discord, I must confess, I never go on Discord. I need to try and figure out Discord a little bit more. My Generation X brain is having troubles with the Discord thing. Yeah. Anyway, there's also over in that corner there, I believe it's that corner, is the subscribe button, and over here's the like. I'd really appreciate those too. Leave a comment down below too if you feel like it, and we'll see you all in the next one.